Hello everyone, this is Stellar Cameraman. Recently, my friend Moon Titan received 3 exclusive shots from Dom Studio, which he shared with me, and the shots are from the 33rd episode, which by the way will be about 10 minutes long. Remember this detail, because it will be useful for us. In addition, they shared an exclusive video for a couple of seconds, but it's enough for the information in it to shock you. Let me remind you that the last 32 episode was released a week ago. In fact, the new episode was supposed to be released yesterday, but because the plans have changed and the duration of the episode itself has changed, it is a bit delayed, although I'm sure it will be released the other day. Thanks to these exclusive leaks, partially confirmed my theory that perhaps aliens cannot win and resist all the toilets that are on this base. The video will be very interesting and crazy, so in advance put a like, subscribe to the channel, and we go. Let's start with the first frame, which to me has the lowest secrecy. And in general sense, however, in this drain you can see the police Skibidi mutants, which are most likely an invention of the scientist himself. These mutants are quite modern and improvement. They can be seen various weapons, RPG, sword, spikes, and I'm sure that this is not all, because as we see, they are still in the herd of development, and they will still work, but we understand that the Skibidi are not standing still and are improving their already strong army. Specifically with these mutants, they will be able to resist, for example, the larger pencil man, and maybe the clock man. Well, I'm not saying that the usual cameramen will not be strong here, because this is not all the Skibidi that will be involved in the battle. I'm sure that the scientist every second inventing new Skibidi and developing them. Let's move on to the second leaked shot, with the scientist who is looking at some point in surprise, and you won't believe it, but I know who he is looking at. It's only possible that he noticed something else, for example, some agent or other representative of aliens. However, as Dom Studio said, there will be a long dialogue in this episode. We can assume that it will take place between the scientist and just this secret character. About him I will tell you more in detail a little later. In addition, we should not forget a G-Man, and about his apocalypse, which will probably take place very soon. After all, as we remember specifically, G-Man was already ready, and the engineers themselves were developing a robot for him, which is likely to be with the maximum number of lasers. However, his look makes us realize that he will not be ordinary and not forgiving in battle. If Allianzu even manages to destroy the base, which is likely to happen, then to defeat the scientist. His army in G-Toilet is unlikely to have a simple, I have already said many times that the army of toilets is ready for this attack, but even we don't know what surprises may await them, because we haven't seen all of Clock Titan's capabilities yet, and Dom Studio themselves said that what Clock Titan showed is not all he can do. It's scary to imagine what he is still capable of, because what we have already seen is a lot. Skibidi did not even have a chance to cope with the abilities that have already demonstrated Clock Titan. Except for him, there is also Speak-R Titan, which itself is on the herd of refinement, or it is already refined. Only release it from the base a little later when the situation becomes more complicated. Okay, let's put toilets and aliens in the corner. A little later we will talk about them again. Let's remember the pathetic and strong Drill Titan, who since his appearance has been suffering and struggling with Skibidi and Alliance. The last time we saw him was at the end of episode 27, when he was under the full control of the Alpha. But what about him now that the Alpha is no more? Judging by Dom Studio's own words that this is the dumbest Titan they've ever created, it seems that he hasn't found himself yet, and it would be too unfair for me if Drill Titan was on the side of Alliance. In that case, SKBD wouldn't stand a chance. For now, I think he is still infected. But who is controlling him? Because even before the Alpha died, when the Counter Titan appeared, she said she didn't need Drill Woman anymore, but it's possible that he will come back and even help Alliance when they are in a dangerous situation, or he will just save Drill Woman and leave with her, which is unlikely. But as Dom Studio have already said, he is a stupid Titan, and everything can be expected from him. It's a shame that they say that about him, because they created him, but come on. I think everything will fall into place with the release of the new 33rd episode, but the third leaked shot, which I think will change everything. Now I'll show you, but let's thank the Moon Titan in the comments for giving me exclusive footage ahead of time so I can create a video and argue my rather interesting theories. In the drain, you can see the toilet Skibidi, who moves on a wheelchair. Very scary. Why the toilet chair? But most likely they wanted to say that the character is quite old, actually on which looked scientist. From this drain, only this drain will remember a little later, But for now, let's study this character as much as possible. In the video, you cannot see his face, but actually and expected, you need to keep the intrigue. But instead you can see his screens. Some apparently small laser, apparently for self-defense, but also how he goes into a room at the main base. Most likely in this room is the scientist himself, who later looks at him with such a surprised look. Most likely it is some old character who is some kind of leader, well, as it happens in the movies, when the oldest is some old character who is about to retire, and he put in his place to whom he trusts most of all. And the scientist is surprised because this character came out of his room. Apparently he sensed some kind of danger and came to deal with it. Honestly, at some point I had the idea that this is the master about the cat. After seeing these leaked shots, we have more questions, which I think will be answered already in the 33rd episode, because it lasts 10 minutes. This is a record number, unless of course Dom Studio will not manage to shove in such a timing 5 minutes of dialogue. If not, then soon we will see moments that I'm sure we will be shocked. Soon we will learn about the Skibidi toilets even more. I would really like to be shown their base in detail, which is likely to happen. Thank you very much again for providing exclusive footage. Well, now we are just waiting for new information about the series, or the episode itself, in which again I really hope that we will at least partially get answers to our questions. Otherwise, they only accumulate and accumulate. Put like, subscribe to the channel. Well, as you already know, bye.